Good evening, Valley Metal. Tonight we're going to do some practice with using the order of operations. I've listed it below by using the word PEMDAS. P is for parentheses. That's the first thing that we do, whatever's in parentheses when solving or when evaluating an expression. The next thing we do are the exponents. That's for E is for exponents. And then we look for multiplication or division. Whichever one appears first in the expression, that's the one we do first. Same thing after that, we look for addition and subtraction. Whichever one appears first, that's the way we do them. I'm going to work through 4 examples with you, and I'd like you to go ahead and copy these down and work each step with me so that you have evidence that you've done these problems step by step the way I've done them. All right, the first problem is 6 squared minus 2 times parentheses 10 plus 2. All right, well, using PEMDAS over here, the first thing we have to do is we have to do the parentheses first. So I'm going to get my cursor in here, and I'm just going to return it, and I can just start retyping stuff. So I've got 6 and minus 2 times, now 10 plus 2 is 12, so I'm just going to put in 12. I've got to put a 2 over here and make that small enough I have to redo my exponent and put that in this way. So there's my exponent. So I've recopied everything, and this is what I solved right here, that 10 plus 2 to equal 12. All right, next I have to look, and I have an exponent. Here's the exponent. I have to do that. Now, 6 to the power of 2 is not 12. It's 6 squared. That's 6 times 6. So I have 36 minus 2 times 12. So in that step there, I did the exponent. Right there, 6 squared. All right. Let's see, my next step, I've got subtraction and I've got multiplication. So I did in parentheses exponents. Multiplication comes first. So I'm going to just leave that 36 and copy that down. 36 minus 2 times 12 is 24. And if I take and subtract those, 36 minus 24, that is 12. So those are my last 2 steps. I solved the 2 times 12. And then I solve the subtraction problem. And that's my first problem. All right, your problem should look just like that. 1, 2, 3, 4 different lines as I did those 4 different operations. You can put the little tents or the arrows or whatever you'd like there. Let's take a look at another problem. All right, when looking at this one, we've got 2 sets of parentheses. So let's start with this first set over here. Now, within the parentheses, we have a multiplication and an exponent. Which one do we do first? Multiplication's down here, exponent's up here. So inside the parentheses, we still have to do that exponent first. So I'll go ahead and solve that. So we still have, in parentheses, 3 times, now 5 squared here is 25, so I'm going to change that exponent, and I just copy everything else. Plus quantity 5 minus 2, and put the parentheses back in. All right, so the first thing I did was I solved that exponent right there. All right, the next line then, I'm still within that first parentheses. Now I can do that multiplication. So 3 times 25 is, move this over, 75. Now I still have to put in my plus sign here. Plus, I have this 5 minus 2. Notice how I'm just doing 1 step at a time. That time I did the multiplication within the parentheses. Now I have another set of parentheses over here that I have to do. So I'm rewriting the whole problem. I'm not being lazy. So I've got 75 plus 5 minus 2, which is 3. And my final thing, 75 plus 3, that will be 78. All right, so let me put my arrows in. Here's where I did the 5 minus 2. And finally, at the end, I added the 2 together. So 1, 2, 3. Again, 4 lines to solve that. 1 step at a time. I never have to work too hard or think too hard if you work step by step. All right, here's the 4th problem. All right, we've got another exponent, but notice that the exponent this time is outside the parentheses. So I have to start within the parentheses, remember. So go ahead and give that a shot. So 6 divided by 3, it's going to be 2. I'll move that guy over a little bit. Now I have to put that in there, that exponent in there, but 2 times 4 minus 3. Notice how I just copy everything down. And let me make my exponent and stick that guy in there. So I just solved this one first, the 6 divided by 3. Now I have to go to the exponent, which is right here. So let's get the exponent solved. 2 squared, of course, is 4. Now I've got times 4 minus 3. All right, what am I going to solve next year? Well, I did my exponent. Now I've got a multiplication, I've got a subtraction. According to the order of operations here, multiplication comes first. So I'll go ahead and solve that. 4 times 4, of course, is 16. I still have that minus 3. So my final operation is 16 minus 3, which is 13. I'll put these last couple arrows in there. So you should have those same lines like that. Once again, 1, 2, 3, 4 different lines. It took me 4 steps to solve it, but I only had to do one operation at a time. That's the key. Just work smart, work slow. All right, here's the final problem. 2 cubed minus 3 times 2 plus 20. Well, we don't have any parentheses, but we do have an exponent, so that's where we'll start. Now, sometimes kids think that 2 to the third power is 6, but 2 to the third power is 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8. So we've got minus 3 times 2 plus 20. So let me stick my arrow in there to show you that that's the first thing that I did as I changed that exponent. Now looking, I've got subtraction, multiplication, and addition. If I look at my order of operations, parentheses, exponents, multiplication and division come before addition and subtraction. So this is going to be my next operation right here. So I can just rewrite this, 8 minus, now 3 times 2 is 6, so I can put that in, but I still have that plus 20 over here, plus 20. All right, so I can return again. I've taken care of that operation. 3 times 2 is 6. Now I'm looking at my 2 that I have left, and I've got subtraction and addition. Well, remember, it doesn't matter which one of these comes first. The order, you go by whatever appears first in the expression, and subtraction is first in this case. So 8 minus 6, of course, is 2. And I have that plus 20 on the end, and then I can do that final expression, 2 plus 20. My addition, it's 22. And I'll put those arrows in to show you that's where I got my 8 minus 6. I did the subtraction first, and then I did the addition to get to 22. All right, please make sure that you've copied this one down as well. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. I'd like to see these 4 problems written out in a paper just like this as you've worked them with me. Turn them into class. Thank you very much for doing this reteaching lesson with me. I'll see you tomorrow.